Alzheimer's doesn't announce its arrival. It sneaks up on you, slowly, silently, stealing moments, names, and memories. By the time the symptoms appear, the damage is already done. But what if you could act before it's too late? What if science could help you protect your mind today so you don't have to fear tomorrow?
So neurodegenerative disease entered my family in 2006 when my youngest child was born with a condition known as Prader-Willi syndrome, or PWS. And the same week my father was diagnosed with sporadic, or what is known as late onset Alzheimer's disease. And the idea of a cure just didn't register with me, because if you lose a neuron that ensconced a memory that happened in midlife, maybe you could figure out how to have neurogenesis happen and replace the neuron, but how could you make somebody go back in a time machine and have those life experiences happen all over again? And so I thought the idea of a cure, everybody's focused on the wrong thing. There's never going to be a cure for Alzheimer's disease. We should focus on prevention and preventing the loss of the neural tissue. The memory would be preserved, the neurons would be preserved, and it just made me focus on prevention rather than a cure.
Mark's quest towards the prevention of Alzheimer's disease led him to Duke University, who shared his passion for preventing the disease and had developed unique protocols to validate his neuroprotective formula called Nouro.
There's been, in general, a total lack of emphasis, I think, on rigorous development and testing of supplements or ways to build resilience long-term. This product in particular, I think, targets those areas that we know are important. Neuroinflammatory responses, which we know that inflammation is a normal phenomenon that helps healing, but chronic inflammation in the brain is a bad thing and leads to a lot of chronic brain diseases.
When Mark and I spoke on the phone and started talking about how he came to the conclusion that these 5 ingredients were important versus many others, I started to believe that maybe this is a worthwhile venture, because he just didn't randomly pick ingredients out of a hat. He actually put a lot of thought into this. So there's some scientific rationale or basis to these decisions.
Over the next 7 years, the researchers at Duke conducted a wide variety of studies evaluating the efficacy and safety of Nouro. The results consistently and repeatedly suggest that Nouro exhibits powerful neuroprotective benefits, including the prevention of amyloid beta plaque, an increase in neuronal growth, a reduction in hippocampal shrinkage, and decreases in inflammation.
So something that occurs in every person that suffers from Alzheimer's disease is loss of neurons or loss of synaptic connections, which results in actual shrinkage of hippocampal mass and cortical mass that can be measured. Other areas that we looked at were neurotropic factors, like brain-derived neurotropic factor, that is involved in both repair and maintenance of neurons.
Clearly, whenever you bring a product to market, there's a lot of marketing and a lot of other considerations, but most importantly, you have to show that it works. It seems to reduce inflammation in the brain. It seems to be associated with upregulation of growth factors in the brain. It seems to reduce atrophy or shrinkage of different areas of the brain.
When we first saw the results, I was honestly taken aback, because so many treatments in the past have failed. And unfortunately, even today, there still is no treatment for Alzheimer's disease. We are desperate to find something that will help not just reduce the amyloid burden, but either prevent or maintain the neuronal cell population that we have.
There are only a few medications approved to treat or prevent the onset of Alzheimer's disease. Each of these synthetic medications can be extremely expensive, can have serious side effects, require an infusion every 2 to 4 weeks, and are aimed only at people with a current diagnosis of early Alzheimer's or mild cognitive impairment.
Consumers want and demand an alternative to pharmaceutical medications, and nutraceuticals can be both safe and effective.
Unlike so many products that come out of pharma, which is still stuck to the one target, magic bullet idea, This is a product that is actually a cocktail, natural ingredients that affects multiple pathways, and I think has a good potential for showing beneficial effects.
My patients don't really want to take a prescription. As a physician, I don't like writing prescriptions. I like to write a prescription for nutrition. I like to write a prescription for exercise. We're not suffering a Prozac deficiency. We're not suffering a prescription deficiency. We're suffering from, we need our nutrients. We need less debris in our brains. It's speeding up that metabolic function, that mitochondrial function, where your brain cells are actually gonna be most efficient and heal themselves.
We're so ingrained that drugs are the efficacious way. It seems a little far-fetched to think a nutraceutical would have as much impact as it does.
Nouro is one of the most well-studied nutraceuticals for brain health and is available online at tonum.com.
The kudos to the company to invest in the research to actually try and go and answer these questions so that anybody interested in taking this product will have more answers, because we're going to have the science and the research to back it up.
Alzheimer's prevention starts long before symptoms appear. The right steps today could mean a healthier brain for years to come.